Well, hello there. No, this isn't the show at all. What this is a call to action. A call to like, share, and subscribe. Oh, by the way, please, if you can, head over to Apple, Spotify, Podcast Addict, or wherever you are listening to this awesome show. Click on that 5-star rating. Tell everyone in your orbit about it. Do whatever you have to do to make them listen and continue to listen to the show. All within reason, of course. Together, we can grow this show into something amazing. Thank you all for what you do out there. Now back to the fun. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is the Manual Fonts Show. It is episode 201. And I know it's been a couple of weeks, and I've been spending a lot of that time thinking about the next 200. Like, what am I going to do different? How am I going to make this better? Will there be less foul language? Will I actually write stuff down as opposed to what I'm doing now, which is trying to do it from memory, and occasionally I'll have a note or two. Like today I'm going to have some notes, and I'll probably get derailed because I'll be looking down and all that shit because I just can't. I don't know. It's like I can't do two things at once. It's one of those weird things. So I have to like memorize everything before I go for it. Or I have some idea and I just go. And I'm contemplating how to go about doing that. A couple of things that I've noticed. All right, so it's going to be a topic that I'm sure all of you are tired of hearing about. Whether it be this show or insert podcast here. It has having to do with the experience of this growing industry, as it were. And what I've noticed in the last couple of weeks is there are a lot more of the larger names, if you will, talking about the oversaturation or talking about how they're being drowned out by a lot of bad low quality whatever shows, right? And first off, I just want to put this question out there. What do you guys think about this? Is podcasting oversaturated? Are there too many true crime podcasts, for example? Are there too many political podcasts, for example? Are there too many news guys running around trying to do podcasting, all this stuff? Is this space, even with the emergence of video, is it becoming a little bit overcrowded? Is this thing becoming an issue? And I'm just curious what your guys' thoughts are on it. I'm going to give you mine after I kind of run through some things here. I'm going to play a clip of one of these podcasters and what she says. Her name is Isabel Brown. She just recently relaunched her spiritual, religious, society, culture, podcasty thing on the Daily Wire. So she's got about 21 episodes in so far on her relaunch, and she's I'm gonna actually do it this way. I'm going to play you this clip that I pulled, and then I'm going to go to the beginning of episode 1, and I'm going to kind of go through that after I run through this little deal here. So, to kind of show you exactly what the issue is and the contradiction or the hypocrisy or whatever the fuck you want to call this. And then of course at the end of this whole thing, we'll talk about the next 201 episodes or 199 episodes coming up. Things of that nature. So, let's do this.
Or 200 years from now. These days, it feels like everyone has a podcast. And honestly, we should make podcasting equipment more expensive because not everyone needs to have a podcast. But we aren't creating any clarity out of everyone having a microphone. We're only feeding into more chaos.
Is she right? No, we should make it more expensive because not everybody deserves a podcast. And we are creating a whole bunch of noise and not enough clarity because not everybody should be on the microphone or not everybody should have a microphone. All right. Here's what I would say to this. Because this is the theme that goes through a lot of these semi-famous to famous people that are doing this podcast, YouTube, video stuff. Honestly, guys, this was supposed to be a hobby. This was supposed to be something you and your buddies can get together and have a conversation, screw around. Production quality wasn't a thing. There wasn't a whole lot going on in the world that would require your content to be a certain way. And I say this because I started in 2014. I've been podcasting for almost 10 years, just over 10 years. And I've always had this show, and I've said this many times. This entire thing was initially a hobby. It was initially a thing of just, I don't care how many followers I have. I didn't care how many downloads. I didn't care how much engagement. I didn't care how many reviews or, 5 stars or written reviews or whatever. I didn't care. I wanted to just say what I wanted to say, get it off my chest, and do it in a way that not a whole lot of pushback, right? I'm not here to debate with anybody. This is just what I think. And you guys are more than welcome to catch this show on the fly as you're zipping through your lives and agree to disagree. It is what it is, right? And this is what it started out as. And this is where some of the pioneers came out of, 2007, 2008, 2009. You get those guys. You get your, Kevin Smith. You get that, I believe it was a doctor that did it. It was kind of like he was the first one to do it. And then there was to a degree, Steven Crowder was another original, 2008. Anyway, so it was just like that spot where you just kind of, produce some stuff without expecting any kind of return on investment or any kind of, deal, right? And some people had, that drive to just do it for fun. No, just for funsies. There was nothing crazy to do to earn any sponsorships, or you didn't have to sit in a certain, way just to get a dollar here or a dollar there or whatever. It was just you, your computer, a USB mic, and you were just going on some free open source software and you were just running with it, right? That was the original form of it. And it was awesome, because you can just meet up. You can meet people randomly, go, oh, man, shit, you're from New York. Oh, crap, you're from fucking whatever. And then you would just, email back and forth. And sometimes you would collaborate, sometimes you wouldn't. And that was the way this all originally started. And as with anything, people saw it as a gold mine, a possibility to get around the rules and regulations of radio and satellite radio, where you can say what you want, put out whatever content you want because it's over an internet connection. It's attached to some kind of a web address, and it's harder to regulate because it's global. So people were just like, "Wow, this could possibly be a fucking treasure trove of cash." So what happened then? This is what happened. Famous people happened. Everybody that was famous decided to have a podcast right around 2013. Everybody that had some form of an audience as a stand-up comedian, as an actor, as an actress, as a writer, as a TV personality, all of a sudden you're dragging your audience with you. All of a sudden companies are propping up in like 2015, 2016. You start getting iHeart getting involved, creating an infrastructure for it. You start to have Spotify convert from their music to a podcasting form, and then they start buying up Chartable, and then you start to see this entire global movement on it. And then all of a sudden companies like Acast start to show up, Buzzsprout, and before you know it, the system is flooded with people wanting to get paid. And what they would do is dangle little subscriptions, oh, I'll give you some secret stuff behind the paywall. And then all of a sudden it turned into an advertising agency all of a sudden wants to be a part of the experience, and they want to sell their t-shirts, and they think you have 500 people that'll buy a t-shirt. So they go and they give you a promo code, or they give you some kind of website access. And then you got full-blown companies devoted solely to growing your show or giving you tips and tricks, however you want to say it, just to make a buck for themselves. This is what happened. It was flooded not by us, but by you. And not every one of you deserved a microphone, Isabel. Not every one of you. Just to be perfectly honest, I went down this rabbit hole when I heard her say that, because this is not the first time I've heard this from famous people in the space. Mark Maron said there are nothing but podcasts out there, and he was trying to be critical because he started right around that same time a lot of people did, 08, 09. And he sees it as an overcrowded space now. And on it, and he goes a little bit further in his episode where he talks about how it's not a whole lot of quality talent out there. Howard Stern, when he was interviewing Jeff Ross, he said, for some reason, everybody's got a podcast now. These are all direct quotes from these broadcasts this year alone. Bill Simmons, Rachel Maddow, Theo Vaughn talked about industry oversaturation. Bill Simmons criticized the app interfaces for its lack of discoverability. Now, this kind of blows my mind, because he's saying that lack of discovery, we're talking about his show, which is on a major network dumping millions of dollars in advertising. Is he saying that the app's interfaces are so bad that he can't get his show on the front of the line? A lot of these major players major companies that have these talents, these comedians, these newscasters, these sports anchors, they're all spending an enormous amount of money in advertising to put that podcast on the top banner of the main page of whatever app that may be. For him to criticize the app, he's probably irritated that most of them won't put him on the main page. Rachel Maddow said that there's marketing hurdles and advertiser fatigue because she's having trouble spending money to be noticed on almost every app. And of course, Theo Vaughn, he's talking about quality control and underperforming shows that need to be dropped. But see, but this is the thing though, Theo. Not everybody has the ability to do it every day. It's not that it's not underperformance as much as it is, I'll put out an episode when I put out an episode. You either listen to it or you don't. I'm not here to do, every 7 days I'm committed to putting out an interview with one of my silly friends, and we're going to talk about, what it is to be damn near 50 and looking like and dressing like I'm 20 years old. I mean, that's Theo Vaughn's show in a nutshell. But no one, I mean, okay, right? I mean, and then in another part from the Hollywood Reporters, there's a quote here where it says there's far too many podcasts, which means far too many of them don't do as well as how they're being sold. So these are bad shows being pushed onto advertisers as something awesome. And you know who's attached to about 80% of those bad shows? A famous person, a face, a name, someone who's dragging their friends with them to listen to their stuff, no matter how bad it is. And of course, Doug Downs, he argues that it's really not exactly about the amount; it's about who's running around. He's saying that there's millions of podcasts out there, but only 400,000 or so are actually doing anything. So there's a lot of dead shows out there. It doesn't mean that they're working. And you know what most of those dead shows are? True crime shows. From where? ABC, NBC, CBS, Paramount. They're all putting out single subject, 7-episode drops of a stinking murder. And that's it. And it's over. I don't know how many times I've gone through the ABC network, if you will, the Disney, it's more Disney, I guess, of podcasts, and I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because they don't know how to make it an ongoing a thing. Like, there's no reason why these shows can't all be one show, 20 or 30 episodes and counting. They don't do that. It just dies right there. There's a lot of true crime podcasts like that, and that is one of the number one podcast genres is true crime, because everybody likes to hear a story. But there are a lot of dead shows because it's the only story. They don't tell a new story. They don't try to get another episode drop out or whatever. They just put out another podcast and another podcast and another podcast. So who's oversaturating it? It's not me. It's not Joey the Independent. It's ABC. It's NBC. It's CBS. They're the ones flooding the space with all these fucking shows. It ain't got nothing to do with me, or Joey, or Willie, or Melissa, or whoever's, doing an independent deal where they have no major backing. But hey, these guys are all going to complain about the very system that they themselves have created, literally created. And and of course, there's always that like Theo said it, and this guy from Saspod named Bogdan Bratis, he said that the problem isn't the quantity, it's always the quality. Yes, there are too many bad podcasts. There's not enough good podcasts out there. But you think about this for a second. Let's think about that statement. There's not enough good ones. Okay, well then what podcasts are out there? Let's go to the news space. They're all reporting on the same thing. How are you going to make that special to the point where someone's listening to you? There's only so many ways you can talk about a bank robbery. How do you make that bank robbery so awesome that somebody else will listen to you? It's impossible. The guy robbed the bank. He took $5 million in cash. He threw it in the back of a van. He drove off in said van. He hasn't been seen in weeks. The investigation is ongoing. This is part of the AP report. And there you go. And then you're on to the next thing. So what is news commentary? That's another subgenre of news. What is that? That's where you get all these fucking talking heads with all their opinions on Proposition 50 out here in California. Well, how many ways can you slice Prop 50? Let's look at it. Well, it's a gerrymandering response to Texas. They're removing 5 Republican seats. Okay. What happened in Texas? They removed 5 seats. Okay. That's it? That's all we got? What are you going to do? How do you make it's these are the things that I find interesting with all these complaints from the famous people. You're the ones that created this shit, and you're the ones that thought that you can take this medium and make it better than radio and as awesome as streaming television. It's not. It was never meant to be this way. It was never meant to do this. And this is the stuff that I've found just odd to me. It's like, how do you guys sit here? Excuse me. It's like, how do you sit here and act like this? I mean, let's just run down some of these quotes in the Hollywood Reporter before we get into Isabel Brown's first show. All right, so I read you some tidbits from these quotes, but here's the full quote, full context of what these guys have said. Rachel Maddow says, none of the apps are great. We don't just need curation in charts. We need rational organization and a meritocracy, basically, way for the best and most relevant shows and episodes to circulate efficiently. It's hard for me to understand why we're still saddled with such uniformly clunky, unintuitive user interfaces at this point. Translation, why isn't my show showing up consistently on the top of the page? Why is it that these rankings don't make me number one? Who do I have to pay to be number one? That's Rachel Maddow. Of course, Ben Shapiro lets the cat out of the bag. He says the biggest challenge is marketing, spending money. Oh, particularly in the news sphere because of, he claims, right-wing government pressures and blah, blah, blah. We never get seen. But he just straight said it. It is all about marketing. It's about how much money's in your pocket and how much you can spend on it and how many people are willing to take your money. That's what it really comes down to in terms of being noticed, moving up the charts, getting a review or two. And of course, here's Bill Simmons' full quote. There's far too many, which means far too many of them don't do as well as how they're being sold to advertisers, which means advertisers eventually get less excited about spending money on a podcast because they get sold how many trashy podcasts from mostly famous people. And again, I've never been called by a major advertiser. So there you go, right? I mean, this is, and of course, there's Emily Rasich. I hope I said your name right. It's from Sony Music Entertainment. Advertising continues to be a challenge. The disconnect between time spent listening to podcasts versus ad spent in the medium shows that podcasts still need to prove themselves to buyers, and or we need to make the process easier. Excuse me. So she's saying the same thing. She's saying exactly the same thing Rachel Maddow is essentially saying. Why can't we make this so easy to where my stuff is on the top of the pile? And they're all saying the same about it, about the marketing is a problem, monetization is a problem. They're all talking about how the system they created by flooding the space with their horse shit is not paying them. Okay, and it's and the of course the whole thing that she says with the more expensive equipment because not everybody should be able to afford it, you know, essentially is what she is saying there. I mean, let's just take that for face value. Number one, and first and foremost, Isabel, fuck you. Okay. I really, it's really insulting and it's really off-putting that you guys that make a career out of saturating the market with your own bullshit and then bitching about other people who are either coming up right behind you and you're just ready to yank that ladder up with stupid ideas like we need to make things ultra expensive so nobody can afford to have fun, so nobody can afford to have a hobby, or nobody can afford to do anything of awesomeness for their lives and fulfillment. That's all I can say. Fuck you. And on that note, let's go through her life-changing podcast, episode 1. And we're gonna play her opening statement, because by golly, kids, we need to.
This episode is brought to you by Espolon Tequila.
Let's skip
An
the ads.
extraordinary night of sleep can make. Believe me, I would know. By visiting bowlandbranch.com/Isabel for your exclusive offer. After way too long, I am so excited to welcome you guys back to the new and improved Isabel Brown Show. In case you haven't been following along on Instagram, since we've last done long-form...
Keep this in mind, what she just said. New and improved
content, a whole lot has happened in your girl's life. We packed up and moved across the country again from Florida to Washington, D.C. We celebrated 1 year of marriage with me and my husband, Brock. I had a baby, Isla, who is the light of our lives, and we are so, so in love with the entire journey of parenting and 8 million other things that I'm sure I'm forgetting because honestly...
So when we get to the part of these articles and these famous people that are talking about how quality, nothing interesting, too many bad podcasts, I'm going to be very honest with this opener right here. I don't give a flying fuck if she got married, and I don't give a shit about her kid, and I don't give a shit about how awesome her husband is. I know she's trying to relate to the audience, but at the end of the day, get to the fucking point. Isn't that what this shit's all about? All you guys making these shows, right? All you famous people in big-ass networks, you're making these shows, and you're always giving us advice about get to the point, stop messing around, stop sounding like you don't care, etc., etc. What the fuck is this? What is this? What about this beginning is going to help make me want to fucking keep listening to you? I know I said I was going to try not to cuss, but this irritates me because they will do the very thing that they tell you not to do. It is beyond words how ridiculous this crap is sometimes. Let's keep going.
So yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment, and I just need to have 8 million things going on at the exact same time. But most importantly, I'm so excited to be back to podcasting with you and with the amazing team at the Daily Wire. I don't know about you, but I am getting really sick and tired in 2025 as both a consumer and a creator of content, watching basically everyone in media simply continue to manufacture outrage using our platforms by reacting to insanity instead of building something more meaningful. I feel like right now we have an opportunity to change the world forever for the better and save our society right in front of us. But we often lack both the courage and the clarity to reach out and grasp it.
Okay, so after she just wasted my life talking about her child, talking about her husband, talking about her time away and how that is just completely the giant consuming moment that I needed to know about. She goes to set the table of her show, right? We have an opportunity to change this stuff for the better because I am so tired of everybody jumping on the old outrage bandwagon, taking these little clips and clicks and blip, 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 right? We're going to do better. We are going to go beyond that. That is what she is saying. All right. Now, okay. You fucking tripped over the old rod out of the old gate there. You fell on your face. You got up. You dusted yourself off, and now you're going to tell me how we're going to change the fucking world. You're going. Okay, I'm in. I'm fucking in. All right, let's do this. You tell me, Isabel Brown. How are we going to change the world for the better? All right, I'm in. I'm fucking in. I'm grounded. Let's go.
The most fundamental beliefs in my life, and it's largely driven by my faith, is that we can't love people by lying to them. And we certainly can't love our country by lying to ourselves. I believe individually as creators and collectively as a movement, we have an obligation and a responsibility to switch from defense against the left and the insanity of our broken culture to offense, to create something good and true and beautiful. And if we're being brutally honest, we are not even remotely close.
All right. Okay, honesty now. She's saying we're going to change the world I'm fucking in, right? I'm in my seat. I'm ready to rock and roll. Now we're going to talk about honesty. We're going to tell the truth, and we are going to change the world with honesty. This is the premise. This is the table being set. Honesty. That's the big fucking thing right now. Okay. I'm with you. Don't step on that rake and ruin it for me. You said we are going to change the world with honesty. All right, Isabel. Don't you fucking fail me.
Tough truth is this. If we don't wake up and take this moment right now to fight harder than we ever have before for truth, we will lose the opportunity to do so forevermore. On the show today and every single day afterwards, I will make you a singular promise. We're done simply rage baiting and generating clickbait content for the sake of reacting to evil. Instead, we're here to actually build something good. It's
all right. No more rage bait. No more rage bait. We're going to build something special, something grand. We're going to make a fucking golden castle. That's what we're doing. All right. This shit is gonna jump right out at you. All right, Isabel. Don't fail me now. We're only 3 minutes in, and I'm pumped, man. This is a great pick me up speech. All right. You got me in. I'm in. Don't fail. Don't fucking fail.
time for us to create a blueprint for the future, a new American dream. And we're starting right now, right here, today on The Isabel Brown Show.
Oh, wow. That is how you open a show, huh? Huh? Isn't that how you open a show? You're in there, you tell me some shit I don't care about, and then you give me a whole speech about how you're going to change the world with truth and honesty. No more rage bait. No more fucking shit for clicks. We're going to go all the way. This show's going to make you fucking happier than shit, kids. This is the pitch. This is the table. It's set. It's ready. Golden Castle. That's what we're doing here at the Isabel Brown Show. I want you to come with me. God damn it, come with me, right? That's what we're doing? That's it? That's what we're doing. All right. Okay. All right. Then we got the intro music. Okay. Intro music. All right. Let's hear it. This better be a good fucking tune. I mean, you just pumped my ass up with how we're going to tell the truth. And we are never, ever, fucking ever going to fail by telling the truth. All right. Okay. I'm in. This movie has got me. This fucking opening scene is amazing. Oh my gosh. I'm fucking there.
One day, completely shell-shocked that we are in the middle of what often feels like the craziest time maybe ever in human history. How is it possible that we arrived at a time where our society is okay with surgically and chemically castrating kids?
And we're done. Okay, you fucking didn't get it done. All right, listen. Okay, if you're gonna sit there and we're gonna tell the truth. We're gonna change the world. We're gonna do different things. We're not going to just go for that same rage bait shit. And then you start talking about what the Daily Wire loves talking about, transgenderism and castration of children. Well, I was in it. I was there for a second. I was there. And then it was gone. Do you see what just happened, guys? Do you see what just happened? And this is the same lady that said not everybody deserves a microphone. Not everybody deserves to be able to afford the equipment. This fucking silly lady that just gave me the best pep talk locker room speech I've heard in years. Double eye winks on this, and then proceeds to fucking go right down the same rabbit hole that Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, and Matt Walsh go down, and even Andrew Klavan to a degree. Why? Because that is the mandate of the company that is now paying her. So this bullshit about how she's going to change the world, it doesn't happen. Let me tell you why. Because I'm going to read you some of the descriptions of this amazingly interesting show. All right, guys? We're going to get into this because here we go. All right, that's episode 1. Here's episode 2. Why is our culture pushing so hard to make women hate babies? From the widespread girl with a list TikTok trend. Now we're going to go review TikToks. Isn't that what they do a lot over there at the Daily Wire? They interview they review TikToks and everything, and women hating kids and not wanting to have kids. Isn't that another topic that happens at the fucking Daily Wire? I'm a little confused here. I thought we were changing the fucking world. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and talk about regular news, right? Of course, she's late to the game because this is an incident that already happened, but she's required to talk about it because I believe that's got to be in the mandate. She's going to talk about the Ukrainian girl that got fucking murdered on the train by the black dude. Okay, well, now we're talking about this. Interesting. I thought we were changing the world. We're just going down the echo chamber. That's what this looks like. I don't even have to listen to these episodes. Fault of politicians with their soft on crime policies. Wait, you said, Isabel, you're going to start to tell the truth and change the world with the boop. No, you're not. You're doing the same god-awful bullshit that exists everywhere else. And, of course, we have our 4-part episode series on Charlie Kirk because everybody was doing that at the time. And then we're going to continue down the Charlie Kirk train because we are going to now talk about the radical left and their unbelievably violent rhetoric. I'm mystified, Isabel. I thought we were going to change the fucking world. I thought we were going to talk about something else. I thought we were going to talk about the spiritual and the religious and the societal structure around God. I thought we were going to grow with Christ. As I was assuming, since you're in the religious category in the podcasting spaces, I thought we were going down this rabbit hole. But that's not what we're doing. We are going right down the same fucking train track as your fucking boss and all the talent that goes on in that building. Excuse me, I'm flabbergasted. It's the same thing when I go and I listen to the douchebag Theo Vaughn. He's a guy who's damn near 50. He dresses like he's in his 20s. And he has the same dumbass jokes every fucking time. It's baffling that he's even remotely, gaining any traction. I mean, let's just be honest. We're gonna talk about honesty. Let's just be honest. Every one of these fucking famous people bitching about this shit now are doing the exact same hypocritical nonsense. We just went through one of them, Isabel. She ain't doing anything different than anybody else. Call Her Daddy was referenced as a well-produced and well-funded podcast in the Hollywood Reporter. You know what that thing is all about? You want to know what that thing's all about? I heard one episode. I'll tell you exactly what it's about. We won't even play a clip because it's fucking ridiculous. They're talking about how to have blowjobs, how to suck tits correctly, and whether or not the guy likes to take it in the ass or give it in the ass. That's Call Her Daddy in a nutshell. And for some reason, it's a highly successful show. But they say downloads don't matter. Well, then who's watching this shit? Does anybody know? How is this possible? But hey, what do I know? I'm Captain Independent in the fucking corner, with my measly 50,000 downloads. Because downloads don't matter, but they don't matter according to these famous guys. But I got 50,000 of them over the course of 10 years. I never promote this show. I don't spend a dime in its advertising. It's very rare. I think I take that. I take that back, kids. I take that back. I think I've spent maybe 2,000 total in like an ad buy or something. I may have done something like that over the years. But I did do a review contest, which if you throw money at people, they'll write anything down to get paid. I thought that was interesting. It was a nice experiment, And then I did a solo review of my own show as a tester because Apple was fucking lying and saying their shit works when it didn't. And of course I wrote the review because I wanted to know if it worked. Whatever, man. I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, it's my show. You either whatever. Why? Who cares? But I guess that's the overall point of this whole episode here. All these famous people are bitching about the very shit they created. They're the ones that flooded the space. They're the ones that oversaturated it, and they're the ones that fucking killed it. And now they want to bitch about it because they're not getting the same paycheck they were getting 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You got people like Isabel Brown talking about how we're going to change the world and tell the truth, and we're going to go in a different direction, blah, 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 blah. And she turns around and does the same shit right out of the gate. And you read her podcast descriptions, and she's talking about the same fucking news cycle that her boss, Jeremy Boring, and then everybody else at the Daily Wire talks about it, on again, off again, or in rotation, or however you want to say it. Hell, it's the same shit that every conservative podcaster's been talking about. It's even the same shit that every fucking left-wing nut that has a podcast talks about. They all have their own spin, but the damn topic is the same. We're not changing shit, Isabel. All you're doing is collecting that goddamn paycheck. You are cashing it, and you are going home and watching TV. You ain't keeps you up at night. I don't believe that shit for a second. Anyway, guys, she is right. Not everyone deserves a microphone, including her. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for going down the rabbit hole with me. Appreciate each and every one of you. Have a good one. Later.